Back again to save Jack Sparrow, the gayest pirate to sail the seven seas.
Oh, he's no gayer than Captain Morgan. Much less gay.
Oh, you right about that. Captain Morgan got the big purple pimp coat going on. So.
What do you think they're using all that rum for? Hey, welcome aboard the ship, laddie. Have a drink.
Avast! Check out She Saber.
Yeah, you gotta have rum for the first time you cornhole a guy.
Oh, see?
Is that what your memories are?
We be pulling into San Francisco shortly. Bring out the rum.
Oh, man, there's a lot of stuff I like in this movie. I like the visuals. I think the direction was cool as far as the visuals go. I love that monkey.
The monkey was funny. I like the monkey and the midget. They were my two favorite things.
Monkeys and midgets do make a movie, but this movie suffered from what I see a lot of third installments suffering from, TMSGO. Too much shit going on.
Yeah, it's funny. Orlando Bloom said in an interview that I don't even think the writers know what the plot of this movie is, and I kind of laughed it off, thinking, well, he's Orlando Bloom. He's not a member of Mensa or anything, but wow. Yeah, I think he's right. I don't think the writers did know. This is Pirates of the Caribbean 3, Curse of the Writers Guild Strike.
Yeah, I mean, we'll let you guys go on, but I just want to say that we were told when we saw this movie by reps to not reveal a whole lot of things that happened, and they ain't got to worry about that because I can't tell them.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. There's nothing I can reveal.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you go ahead. You look like you love this.
I love the hell out of this. You guys are completely on crack. This movie was freaking awesome. I'm sorry you guys were easily confused by the plot going on here.
Don't even.
Look, man, I love the second movie, and I like the first one a lot. So if I'm telling you that this shit is crazy, and it is crazy, okay? It ain't just confusing. It is crazy.
But it's good crazy. It's entertaining crazy. I loved every single minute of this movie.
You are crazy.
All right, look, speaking from the perspective of somebody who really didn't care for the second one all that much, I was sitting there, next to Carlisle, who was laughing the whole time, and I was like, damn, I guess it's just me, because I don't know what the hell is going on. You got up and left. When I was going to ask you questions, you got up and left. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just sit here. Maybe it'll make sense after a while. And then I just kind of gave up on it.
Man, I got up and left because I couldn't take that shit no more.
The movie?
The movie, yes.
Oh, I thought it was the kid that was bothering you.
No, that kid was making it actually entertaining for me.
Okay.
I had an emergency, and I just didn't want to get back and forth in front of everybody. No, he was fine.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like at the end of the second one, when they say, okay, we got to go rescue Jack Sparrow, all I can think to myself is, why? Oh, because he's the most interesting character in the whole movie. We got to save the franchise. We got to save the franchise. I get that. But now this time, it's like, well, we got to save Jack Sparrow. No, we got to save Bootstrap Bill. Nope, we got to kill Davy Jones. Nope, there's Callisto. I mean, like 2 hours into the movie, they're throwing a whole new plot line. And I'm just like, man, I know it can't just be me, but maybe it is. So I'm going to just keep my mouth shut and not say anything.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that they start up just kind of goes nowhere, really. Like the whole Callisto storyline, they build up to be something, and she's just kind of like, yeah, you know what? Screw the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, they tell us not to. That's probably one of the things they don't want us to reveal. But they got, I mean, I'm not ruining anything for anybody when I say they got 10 feet black women in this, 100 feet black women in this, and the fish people attacking.
Now we see why you didn't like it.
See.
Sorry, it was obvious.
No,
Come on.
No, it was just.
I had to take it.
No, they got Asians going wild, 100-foot black women. They got monsters that are joined up with the Commodores and all the. I don't know what's going on with this.
The Commodores. When did they show up? Lionel Richie standing out there.
Hey, man, there were so many people in this thing. I believe the Commodores were there. Them and Earth, Wind and Fire and the Barcades too.
Let's not forget the whole thing started as a musical. Okay, I mean this movie started feeling like it was their bid to go. The next big Broadway adaptation is going to be Pirates of the Caribbean, because first 5 minutes of this movie is a bunch of people singing and moving in like choreography. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
No, I think you're all on crack. I love the hell out of this thing. I mean, the thing is that everybody has their own motivations going on, and everyone has their own kind of arcs happening, and it all just happens to be happening at the same time. I could see how some people could think there's a little too much going on. I thought it was the perfect amount. I really enjoyed every single plot line they threw at me.
You got 3 people sitting here telling you that this shit don't make no sense.
Yeah, and you and the one other person were the only ones walking out that I heard complaining. Everyone else was talking about how great it was.
Now,
I had the exact opposite experience hanging out outside.
yeah, and you know, maybe you would stand out in Crack Row Alley talking to crackheads telling you how good this movie was.
No, you guys walked
We know
out
who
with
he
the
was
people.
talking to. Sorry.
You guys walked out during the beginning of the credits. I was walking out with all the people who stuck around to see the last minute after the credits, like in every pirate movie. So those are the people who really enjoyed it. You guys walked out with the people who were like, yeah, that was some bullshit.
The movie's 3 hours long. How much longer were we supposed to stay? I'm like, is it still Wednesday?
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying you guys walked out with people who obviously weren't willing to stay around for the end. I walked out with the people that loved it.
Carlisle, that 1 minute that you saw after the credits is not going to make a difference in plot in this movie.
I didn't say it did. I'm saying that I walked out with all the people that stayed around to wait for that because they wanted every last drop of this movie that they could
Yeah,
get.
I get that. I see what he's saying too, because his experience was sitting inside with everybody who loved it. Sure, of course you were surrounded with people like there was no one there who didn't like it, because those are the people who stayed. The other half of the people left immediately, who felt like we did, who were like, yeah, wow, that was a giant wreck. It felt like there was like 30 writers on that film and nobody could agree on what the hell they wanted it to be about.
This from the guy that loved Spider-Man 3.
Dude, I'm sorry.
there's
Okay,
no
I-
From the
comparison.
two guys that
I
loved
knew-
I
Spider-Man
knew this was
3.
going to
Say
come up,
that.
and you know what? The whole time I was sitting there, I was like, okay, now I see what people meant when they said Spider-Man 3 had too much. But it didn't have this much.
Not
I
even
mean,
close.
Visually, there was, I mean, yeah, okay, visually there's some cool effects, but there's so much going on. And even visually, I couldn't keep up with it. I'm like, you know what? There's so much going on plot-wise and visually that I'm actually kind of bored. It's sensory overload to the point where, like, there's everything and yet nothing.
Yeah, as somebody who wasn't crazy about Spider-Man 3, I got to tell you, this they ran circles around Spider-Man 3 with this story. And I want you to understand, like, I'm not saying I hated the movie. It is in that lump of films where they have a third sequel, and you could tell that they did not have any story, and they just made up a bunch of shit as they went along. But I love watching this movie. It actually moved fast for me just because I thought it looked great. Man, those fish people, you know, you had the Hush Puppy Head and and Guppy Head and Trout Head.
Hey,
Gumbo
hey,
Head?
Look, guys, call him Orlando Bloom, all right?
Snap a head.
It was funny. There was a line in this movie about halfway through that I was like, they had to have, like, this had to be one of the things with the director and the actors who were like mad at the writers, so they threw it in, where they were talking about Captain Jack and said, do you think he plans it out ahead of time or he just makes it up as he goes along? And I laughed because I was thinking that about the screenwriters. Like, that had to be an in-joke.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, you got to admit, like, somebody was double-crossing somebody else every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So so it doesn't mean anything after a while.
Yeah, and plus the fact that, like, sometimes it's like, I'll never forgive you, and, like, the next time it's like, don't worry about it, it's really no big deal. And there's just no character consistency at all from anyone. Everyone is just like, sometimes you betray me and I can't stand you forever. Other times, you know, you're my buddy. It's all going to work out. And who loves who? I mean, who is, talk about a slut. I mean, come on. First off, this girl just can't make out with anyone, right?
Oh, you're talking about
Keira Knightley. She just like you're a prominent member of the cast. If you're,
You shut your filthy mouth and stop talking about Kira that way. Kira is the love of my life, and she will not be talked about with the likes of
when
you,
you
Cyrus.
finally see her with, like, you know, short sleeves on, she looks like one of those stick insects, you know? You always-
You shut your filthy mouth. Shut your filthy mouth.
Come on, man. She was pretty. She's
no,
hot.
she's still hot though. You know.
Well, she's
Well,
tough,
this
you know,
this
don't
from the
get me
man
wrong.
that would this from the man that would bone Diane Lane and
Diane Keaton too.
Diane Keaton and pretty much anyone named Diane.
And if you read the blogs, Judy Dench now apparently.
Man, hell yeah.
Hey, you get Judi Dench, I get Helen Mirren, all right?
Yes, let's swap back and forth.
That's a hell of a key party.
I mean, you know how I am. I'll do one of them fish people if they look fine enough. You know me, that ain't nothing.
They come pre-lubricated.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, and then the movie throws in Chow Yun Fat And the only reason I can see to put Chow Yun Fat in there is because it's like, okay, did y'all get used to the pirate accents? You can understand what they're saying? Okay, well now we got a new accent, and there's no way you can understand what he's saying.
Wait a minute, hold on, let me finish. Wait, say it again.
And now there's a new accent, and there's no way you can understand what he's saying.
Yeah, that's true. Chow Yun Fat came on. He's like, and they had that one voodoo chick, and she like, and I was like, I can't understand what that. These are a movie full of retarded people.
You're right. There's so many accents. There's a scene where like 3 of them are talking together at once. I'm like, oh, my brain can't wrap around this.
That's true. Blood was coming out of his ears. I saw it.
There was no reason to put Chow Yun Fat in this movie except that he's awesome. That's why he was in this movie.
Let me point out like a typical error though here that I have with the script writers, where they had no idea what to do with what they had. You got Chow Yun Fat in this movie. There's a scene where everybody is holding guns on everybody else, and Chow Yun Fat's not in it.
Right.
Yeah, that's
right,
true.
Right. That's his signature move.
I know that is the signature Chow Yun Fat, scene, and you don't include him in there. Okay, all right.
It's like a wrestling match with Jake the Snake Roberts, and he doesn't use the DDT. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, I didn't even
or
think
the
about
snake.
that. Yeah, no.
That came later.
No, yeah, but really, there really was no reason to have Chow Yun Fat in that movie, along with some other cameos I won't even
No, yes,
mention
there
right
was.
now.
He had a summer home he needed to pay for.
Hey,
True enough.
You know what? But there was nothing more beautiful than, a Rolling Stone talking about how to live forever. That there's just beautiful irony there.
Except, what was the purpose of having Keith Richards in that movie at all? Other than for the publicity of saying like, hey, we got the actual guy Johnny Depp is imitating in the movie.
I would have laughed if he had opened like this little secret chest, and in it were the ashes of his father, and he had pulled out a straw and snorted them.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Now, did any of you catch the brief moment where we see him playing guitar?
That was brief. I mean, he did everything but hit me over the head with that guitar. I mean,
It's not a matter. It wasn't a matter of catching it. He's right. He's like, look, I'm playing guitar. Look. In case you miss that, I'm going to break a string real loudly, and everyone's going to stare at me. Boom.
Yeah. I mean, really, again, as a summer movie, I'm not going to criticize it too hard because we see movies all the time. This is something for people to go see. Even if you can't keep up with the stories, you're going to look at this guy's face and be like, oh, he's a cool fish, man. But as far as a quality movie goes, it's subpar.
I know a lot of chicks go like, yes, but it's Johnny Depp and eye makeup, and I just got to go see it. Well, you kids go, but for the rest of us, I'm going to say rental.
I'm not normally one to advocate drug use, but apparently the makers of this film are, and I think in that circumstance you might actually enjoy this a whole lot. Other than that, I agree with Leon. It actually is kind of dull.
Yeah, and crackhead over here.
I'd pay for it twice to see it once. It was freaking awesome.
Really, and I mean this seriously. Judging from past movies, us having this conversation before, give me some of the shit that you would do before you go into these movies because I want to enjoy myself. You are on something, apparently.
I am on nothing.
He's high on life.
I'm high on the movie experience.
And 18 cups of Java.
And an 8-ball.
Well, if you consider that drugs.